What's good, everyone? I'm Wayne, and welcome to Munch and Mash. So some of you might or might not know, I'm born and raised in South Africa. But not just from any South Africa. Probably expecting I'm from a local city, Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town, maybe even PE or East London. Funny enough, I'm from neither of those places. I'm from a small town that's roughly an hour away from Bloemfontein, one of the cities in the heart of South Africa, right in the middle of the country. And let's just say it's a miracle or very unexpected that I grew up eating mostly Chinese food, actually. So you're probably wondering, how did my family get access to most of these ingredients in the first place? Needless to say, you can imagine back in the 90s, South Africa was not the most accommodating of places for like other cultures and other races. It's a lot better now, but it's not exactly perfect. But it's a lot better. We can get Asian ingredients very easily and it's super accessible. But even so, back then, there were quite a few stores here and there, especially the main city centers, to get your very niche Asian ingredients, specifically Chinese. So, my family and I, living in a tiny town on the border of this other country called Lesotho, which is a landlocked country in South Africa, it was pretty nuts. Because just to give you a little bit of context about this place, there's not even a single traffic light, or robot, as we say in South Africa. Back then, there wasn't even any international fast food chains, for instance. The KFC only opened up when I was like 10 or 11 years old, and we only had a Spar and a ShopRite. That's pretty much it. So, how did we get our Asian ingredients that enabled us to basically eat Chinese food 90% of the time? Well, one or two families that also lived decided that they needed to do something about the situation as well. So they hatched a plan of going to one of the major cities and stocking up on all the essentials and bringing it back to town. Now, the remaining families will pay them back for getting the ingredients for them. Same with my family. As time went on, there was a huge boom back in the early 90s that entailed a semi-decent amount of Chinese people, specifically Taiwanese, to immigrate from Taiwan to South Africa, and specifically to that small town in order to work in the factories in Lesotho. My parents were a part of that group. So with that, there were a lot of Chinese people living in this tiny town that demanded Chinese ingredients. That meant those few families that were willing to drive 3-4 hours to Johannesburg created a little business for themselves. But because they weren't really selling commercially to a large population, they didn't exactly open up a storefront. They kept everything very casual, kind of like how you would sell to friends, asking a buddy of yours just to pick up some milk and bread at the local grocery store because they don't want to walk themselves there. And they did that in their own houses until it got so big they basically created a little grocery store in their garage. And that was our main source of Chinese produce and Asian ingredients throughout my entire life. So growing up there in that small town, I always thought that the only place that you can get Asian ingredients was from a garage. Other than that, you had to go back to Taiwan or China or Korea or Japan to find the actual authentic ingredients. But in South Africa, you can only access that in garages. And it's a really weird revelation to myself that was not the case in the major cities way later in life. I think I was like 16, 17, where I walked into a Chinese grocery store that wasn't a garage and it was just like a regular store in a proper shopping center, and it blew my mind because I just thought everyone everywhere in South Africa, even in the cities, just sold their ingredients from the garage. And that was the normal. That was the norm. The crazy thing is, those garage grocery stores, I think, are still operating to this day in that town. Obviously, I don't want to mention exactly which town it is, but if you put two and two together, you can probably guess where it is. But just in case, I'm not going to say the details because I still have quite a few people I know that live there. And before I end the video, it is amazing to see how much the K-pop industry and the Korean industry has impacted Chinese grocery stores in general in South Africa. Not only that, but just Asian restaurants in general, like sushi, Chinese, Thai, whatever, the indirect marketing is absolutely insane because I swear, before the pandemic, when I went to an Asian grocery store, there would be like 90% of the shoppers were Asian and only 10% were South Africans. But recently, when I go to the Asian grocery stores, specifically in Cape Town, it's like a very good balance of like 50% South African, 50% like of the Asian community. And it's really cool seeing South Africans trying out Asian food because we're such a minority in South Africa. I feel like the majority of South Africans didn't even know we existed until recently. So the fact that you guys are open to trying us out and are hype about our culture and enjoy the media is absolutely amazing because damn, growing up in South Africa and eating Asian food was interesting. Thanks for watching.